when I was feeling down about my role on Bob's Burgers, and I called Tim Pool. As Tim Pool told everybody that I, in confidence, had told him I was very upset about what was going on there.
It's embarrassing.
And when he broke my confidence in that moment, that was also very difficult for me. So I have this type of experience.
Sam is being facetious for people who don't know.
When the capacity. Like I didn't get too involved in this, and Cenk was upset about me calling him something that I never called him, and apparently this is what triggered his big jihad against us. That's fine. I don't care.
Today, we've got a clip from the Vanguard in which they're reacting to a clip from the Majority Report where Sam Seder and Emma Vigeland are responding to Anna Kasparian's insane allegations about the Majority Report. They're calling it defamatory, laughing it off, but most importantly, they're exposing how ridiculous this smear campaign is. So, without spoiling anything, let's just get into this clip. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions as we go through it, and of course, I'll be giving you my unfiltered take.
I'm happy not to have to have conversations with him. But to claim that we got advertising money, and people who watch the show, who pays our advertising things. I read them. And like the whole point of advertising is to read the advertisement.
To expose it to your audience.
But the insinuation is that you would have to come clean about it, is that we have gotten money from somebody. In this instance, the claim was that we had taken money from the Harris campaign to promote her without telling the audience. Now, here's the thing. People can say we're hacks, we're DNC shills, we're MSDNBC or whatever it is, or
MSNBC or Sam,
or we're
shit
commies
libs.
or shit libs or whatever. It doesn't like the whole range. Like that's an opinion. But when you accuse someone of actually doing something that is a material thing, and it is a complete lie, that's like a dangerous claim to make. It's defamatory.
I would agree.
And
it's in writing.
Crazy. Also, let everyone remember that Sam Seder, maybe a month or so ago, invited Cenk on the Majority Report to have this discussion, to have this conversation. If Cenk really felt that he had evidence to this effect, he could have come on this show and said it to their face, challenged them and said, hey, you want to mock me for my Polymarket investment? What the hell? You guys have been taking money from the DNC and I got the receipts. You guys have been promoting Kamala Harris and I got the receipts. You're corrupt. That could have ended the Majority Report's reputation single-handedly. It could have ended their credibility in the space. It certainly would have massively tarnished the way I feel about, Sam and Emma's integrity and that of the show, right? If I found that out.
I mean, 100%. If Cenk or Anna actually had proof, this would have been game over for Sam Seder. Like, completely game over. But guess what? They didn't have anything. Like nothing, absolutely nothing. TYT was hoping that by throwing out this accusation, the damage would be done before people started asking for the actual evidence. That's how you know they talk about politics all the time, because this is a classic political playbook. Start a fire, step back, and hope nobody notices that it's built on nothing. The problem is the Majority Report has fans who actually pay attention, and that's where their mistake was. People went back, checked the archives, and found nothing because there was nothing to find. No ad, no Kamala promo, nothing. So what does Anna do when she realizes she has no evidence? Oh, of course, what everyone else would do. She doubles down. Classic.
But of course that didn't happen because Cenk has no evidence. He's just making shit up. Same thing with Anna Kasparian. She's just making shit up. She's the one who said this. She's just making shit up with absolutely no proof.
Oh, 100%. And look, the fact that he brought it up as defamatory, I think is a real shot at the fact that Cenk's been trying to promote himself as a reputable news outlet. I don't think Sam's actually interested in litigating against the Young Turks. Of course not. But it is a fly in the face. So, it's a little bit of a strike in the fact that, oh, I'm the real serious journalist. Like, no, you're not. You don't have any receipts. And the fact that you couldn't even wrestle Tim Pool to the ground metaphorically when you guys were having a debate about Tenet Media, right? when you do have the receipts, now you're just making shit up, right?
True. That's such a great point. Yeah.
It's crazy.
He totally let Tim Pool bulldoze him in that exchange, even though he did have the receipts. You're right.
And on top of all of that, I do have, I guess I would say a disagreement. I don't begrudge them, but it's something we choose not to do at the Vanguard, which is read ads. Now, we're in a privileged position in the fact that we don't have employees. We don't have to provide people with health insurance, right? I think Sam and Emma both fall under SAG guidelines or some sort of, Screen Actors, union guidelines. So there's all kinds of, monetary obligations that you have to meet. And I think they do a good job of making ethical ad reads and ethical ad decisions. But Gavin and I would be livid, and we would do a content nuke on them if they'd been secretly taking Kamala Harris money, obviously. That would not be something that we would overlook or be like, well, Sam and Emma, they're nice guys. Like, we're not interested in talking about that. We're going to, we'll let them out. That would not happen, right? So the fact that, Cenk levels this accusation, there's no evidence for it. And on top of that, as they've mentioned here, the whole point of an ad read would be to blast it out to your audience, right? It would be to do the ad read for the show. And not just Emma and Sam have come out and vehemently denied this, not just their producer, Matt Leck, but also regular hardcore fans of the Majority Report. They're like, I've listened to Majority Report every single day on my way to work or on my way home from work for the last 10 years. Okay, they never once ran a Kamala Harris ad. I've got plenty of criticisms of Sam and Emma's political strategy. Taking a Kamala Harris ad read is not one of them because they never did that, right? So it's patently false. And I think it just continues to make the TYT network look unserious, right? As the only thing that they have is this, accusation that they're more serious than everyone else.
Yeah. Also, now that I think about it, did anyone do a Kamala Harris ad read? Like, even the most shit libby Democrat hack channels, like even the people in the Destiny sphere whose whole point is literally to be a Democratic propagandist, did they do, like, did David Pakman and Brian Tyler Cohen? I don't think he just did a Democratic Party funded Kamala Harris ad read. I mean, obviously the point of his show is already to be propaganda, but I don't remember that. It seems like even those people would understand that that would be something that would massively disqualify them from having any sort of integrity or credibility as far as like journalistic neutrality is concerned.
And honestly, this is what I think is the big moment of realization. Anna didn't even accuse Sam or Emma of something even believable. Like, at least if you're going to fabricate a scandal, pick something that could have actually happened, right? At least try to make it believable. A Kamala Harris ad? Who in their right mind would pay to make Kamala more visible? Her approval rating was already scraping the bottom of the ocean floor. Even the biggest DNC loyalist channels didn't run Kamala ads because even they know she's a political black hole. If this were 2020, it was about maybe a Bernie Sanders ad. Maybe. But Kamala Harris? That's so outlandish, it's almost funny. And what's even funnier is that Sam and Emma's own fans, who would absolutely rat them out if this were true, are openly saying, yeah, this never happened. So at this point, Anna and Cenk are just throwing out probably false accusations. And when it blows up in their face, they just move on like it never happened. They don't retract, they don't apologize. They just hit the next outrage topic and hope everyone forgets. I think it's honestly kind of cynical. But of course, again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue checking out the remainder of this clip.
So I don't know anyone that did this, let alone the Majority Report, who obviously never would.
Great point. Yeah, the only thing I've seen David Pakman hawk that I thought was ridiculously embarrassing was like Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or some sort of stupid shit like that.
Yeah, and not to mention his picture with Joe Biden in the White House. But yeah.
Exactly. Good as an advertisement in my book, but I hear you.
I will reiterate this. I think our audience knows this. We have never taken a dime from any entity that we didn't fully disclose in the form of advertising. I mean, we don't do a list of who's our members, but you can see, we have had one Sam Seder member, I think, that's still on the list. We haven't had one. And that was like 10 or 12 years ago. I don't even know the person's last name, but I do know it started with a K, I think. Or maybe that was the last letter on his first name.
Or maybe the first name started with a K and the last name started with H.
I'm pretty sure with an E. And who's that?
Kamala Harris.
Oh. And he did that for a year, and it really made a huge difference in the show. I mean, just the being able to keep the show afloat at that time. But that is it. And the idea that someone would make up such a flagrant lie is honestly makes me nervous for that person.
It's like
even
wellness
though I
checks.
have like absolutely
well,
no.
she made up a lot. Like the fact that she put that such outrageous lie beneath the lies about like our personal conversations made it pretty obvious that it wasn't
and
true.
then when I combine that with it was on Twitter at 1 a.m. in the morning,
On a
LA
Eastern
time.
time, admittedly.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Eastern time?
It was 11:28 Pacific Standard Time when Anna fired the last tweet. I will still justify that it's the middle of the night.
Nah, but yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, still
It's late evening.
Still fairly late. But with that said, Itov ala mak sirah. Itov ala mak. That's vote Kamala Harris backwards. So I guess people hadn't been noticing that throughout the rest of our. Oh, you didn't like that one?
Wait, but you had
That's
the
the
words.
subliminal messaging.
You
It was a funny joke. I saw Matt made a similar joke on Twitter that if you play this interview backwards, it says vote for Kamala Harris, and it was an interview with like a pro-Palestinian voice.
If you actually you take apart the Vanguard and rearrange the letters, it spells coconut pill. Did you know that?
True. If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, the Vanguard.
If you hum that backwards, it actually sounds like our theme song.
Yeah, it says look out the door if you hear an ambulance. Yeah, it's crazy. That wasn't all that we heard from the Majority Report, though, Gavin. They followed up the next day with a phone call from friend of the show, Hank, who you guys might remember is working on a documentary. He's Winners and Losers in Chat, and he was a former employee of the Young Turks. He's been a whistleblower. He's long documented Cenk Uyghur's attempt to, break up the union, undermine the union, and a documentary called Tell the Truth, Cenk. And he called into the Majority Report the other day. We won't play probably all of it, but just wanted to give everybody a little bit of a taste. They were giving a platform for this fellow whose name will pop up again later on in the live stream.
Yep, absolutely. And before we get into that, I do just have to say again, it's crazy to me that Anna Kasparian can't just fight this battle in the actual war of ideas, right? As cringy as it sounds, her and Jane keep talking about progressives, they just get so triggered when someone disagrees with them. They can't handle anyone straying from the orthodoxy, right? That's kind of been their whole shtick. And Anna keeps talking about how back when I was infected with the Trump derangement syndrome, it led to me being dishonest, and I feel really bad about that. I spread false news, and I tried to get people emotional for in reasons in retrospect that I don't necessarily agree with. But to see Emma and Sam here just laugh at the lies that have been spread in the last couple weeks about them and their platform, just the completely unprovable fucking lies from Cenk and Anna. Again, it shows so much regression. It shows so much regression. And again, she literally, Anna Kasparian said she left progressivism because she was misinforming people, because she was spreading falsehoods and lies on the show. And now she wants to go on to say these things about her former colleagues with no proof whatsoever. Like, do you have any ideas to what would compel someone to do that, Zach? Like, Anna knows that Sam and Emma can debunk this. She knows it's not a fact. She knows she's lying. What's the point in spreading this?
Honestly, this is too good. Anna Kasparian is now complaining that progressives get triggered too easily? That's ironic. Did she just wake up and forget almost her entire career? Anna made a name for herself calling everyone a racist, sexist, or a fascist the second they disagreed with her. Now that the outrage mob has turned on her, she wants to act like she's some misunderstood centrist. Nah, sorry. You built this monster, you fed it, you nurtured it, and now it's eating you alive. And honestly, I don't feel bad for you whatsoever. This is the real question. Why is Anna doing this? Well, let's be honest. TYT is desperate. Their numbers are down, they've lost credibility, and Anna needs to stir up drama to stay relevant. As we know, most of these news-based outlets, such as TYT, thrive on outrage, and when they run out of things to be outraged about, they just make stuff up. I guess Anna is just trying to reinvent herself now as the quote-unquote common sense progressive, and in my opinion, it's pathetic and honestly, it's just not working. Of course, that is my unfiltered take. As always, I would love to hear what you guys think. Do you think that the TYT is eating itself alive, or is Anna genuinely losing it? Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and of course, we'll see you guys in the next one.